Hey everybody, Beaumont Enterprise sports reporter Avi Zalin here alongside a man that needs no introduction, but we'll get one anyway. Jared Ainsworth, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Good, good. As you might have noticed by now, we are without the third musketeer. We are without David Barry. He was out on assignment doing something I'm sure that's more important than this, but for now you're just going to have to settle with us two. So we're moving through high school football playoffs, and now kind of we're down to three teams in our area. We got Newton, West Orange, Stark, and Nederland. Jumping ahead, and Nederland after that huge overtime victory last week against Pearl and Dawson. So, Jared, let me ask you, having seen that Nederland team, what's kind of you think the main key to victory this week against Georgetown?
Well, against Georgetown, I talked to Coach Larry Newman for Nederland today, and Georgetown's quarterback, Jake Kubinak, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Coach Newman.
You're asking a man that does not know.
Coach Newman said that's the best quarterback they're going to have faced all year, and he said if there's a better quarterback in the state, show me. He's thrown 3,200 yards, 42 touchdowns, and only 8 interceptions. Very good quarterback, very efficient. In fact, Nederland, and so far in the playoffs, they played Dayton, Pflugerville, Connolly, and then Pearland and Dawson last week. 3 teams that mostly run the football, very athletic teams. This week they're going to get a team that mostly passes the ball, and their defensive line is very big. Their defensive backs that have gotten a lot of picks this year are going to have to come up with their biggest game of the year. And for West Orange, Stark versus Navasota, they're going against the 2 undefeated teams. What do you think is going to be key for West Orange?
Yeah. It's kind of, to me, it sounds like, who wins, the unstoppable force or the immovable object? It's just going to be a really, really good game. But I think kind of the main thing that West Orange Stark needs to do to win this game is play mistake-free football. Lamarck learned that the hard way last week. Now, Lamarck is another powerhouse in 3A, absolutely, and I think a lot of people peg that Navasota-Lamarck game as, much like the West Orange Stark Navasota game, where whoever wins definitely is shown that they are one of the best teams, in the state. And what really, really hurt Lamarck was undisciplined football. They had 11 penalties and 2 ejections in the game. In addition, they had 2 high snaps, which would ultimately result in 2 Navasota touchdowns, a total of 3 turnovers. So Navasota is going to bring their best. You know they are. And you know what? They're the number 1 3A team in the state for a reason. So if you start making mistakes and if you start shooting yourself in the foot, there's no way you're going to win this game. So, like I said, West Orange Stark needs to play mistake-free football in order to have a shot. But give me 2 more keys. 2 more. That's all I'm asking. That you think Nederland needs to emphasize?
Well, last week, when Georgetown played against Angleton, Georgetown gave up 330 rushing yards. I think this is an opportunity for Nederland running back Kendrick Hopkins. They have a big night. He's had 1,700 rushing yards this year. Woo. And then the other big key for them, Carson Raines needs another big game. He's been pretty consistent throughout the year. Last week he had a couple big catches and a couple big passes. One of them I saw assistant coaches say, "What a throw!"
He does what they asked him to do.
Yeah, and he made a really good throw there in overtime. Second play of overtime, 25-yard pass to Seth Barrow to win the game under pressure in Reliance Stadium. Not bad. So
no, not bad.
And how about for you? 2 other reasons.
I would say 2 other big things. One is the offense needs to step up. We know that West Orange Stark has a great defense. I mean, that's been talked about pretty much ad nauseum. And it's kind of an interesting parallel because Navasota has always had a really, really explosive offense. But at the same time, that defense of theirs never really came around. But this year, they're a very well-rounded team. They've only given up 93 points the entire season.
Wow.
That's an average of a little over 7 points a game, if my math serves me correctly, which is suspect because I was a journalism major, but what are you going to do? That being said, they have playmakers all over the field. I asked an opposing coach in their district, in Navasota's district, I said, where is kind of a weak point in that Navasota defense? He said, tell me. I have no idea. He said whether it's in their linebacking core, or even in their secondary. He said they're strong all around. So I think the offense of West Orange Stark really needs to step up against a really, really good Navasota defense this Friday. And then the final thing I would say is they can't get rattled. Granted, they're paying the Rattlers, but okay, that was a horrible pun. I apologize. But that being said, they can't get rattled. West Orange Stark is a team that's not used to playing from behind. You've seen that during the regular season, throughout district play, and then even pretty much, in the postseason, they blew out Cleveland. I think it was 41-0 at halftime. They're not used to playing from behind, and so I think they need to make sure that they don't panic, even if let's say Navasota goes up by 2 scores. They still got to understand that they're a good team. They can still come back in this game. And so, like I said, it's adjusting to a new situation. So with that, I thank you guys very, very much for spending the last 5 or so minutes with us here and watching pretty much our preview of the regional round of the Texas playoffs.